Hi, Tile from Interfidelity here. Today we're going to talk about basically my reference portable rig and the amplifier that I use in this reference rig when I go to trade shows to audition headphones, the CEntrance HiFi Mate. I use the Aslan Kern AK120 with the optical digital output going into the optical digital input of the CEntrance HiFi Mate. And I'll use my Focal Spirit Professionals as my reference phone, but I know with confidence that when I plug any headphone into this unit at a trade show, it's going to be an honest representation of what I'm going to get from that headphone, and I don't have to worry about the front end not being truthful about what's going on, because this is an absolutely terrific little amplifier. Let me take the AK120 off the top here and the rubber bands off, and we'll give you a little tour of this unit, which is kind of complicated because this unit comes in 8 different configurations, 2 different rear panel input configurations and 4 different front panel configurations. On the rear panel, I have the HiFi Mate XL, which has the Toslink optical digital input and a USB computer input on the rear of it. The HiFi Mate without the XL, the standard HiFi Mate, has a USB connector like you have on the side of your computer here, and it will accept the digital output from an iOS device that uses the 30-pin connector into the USB connector on the rear. CEntrance is working on a lightning connector version of this amp, and which will be available sometime in the future. The front panel comes in 4 different configurations for output of different types of headphone plugs. I use the XL4, which has the XLR connector, 4-pin female balanced connector, and the 1/4-inch headphone jack and a 3.5mm headphone jack, which also, as you can probably see, the little red light in there, has a Toslink output. So this, the CEntrance HiFi Mate can be used as a USB to digital converter, so you can send the signal off to a D to A converter that doesn't have a USB input on it. The other front panel configurations is the RSA, which has a Kobicon connector. It's also a balanced connector with 4 connections that's magnetically attached. It's a little bit smaller than an XLR, so it's nice to use on in-ear monitors and smaller headphones, so you don't have quite the heft of an XLR connector on it. Details about that connector are in the article linked underneath the video here. The RSA front panel also has the 1/4-inch and 3.5mm with Toslink output on it. And then there's the CMB, which uses the 2 Neutrik combi jacks on the front. These are the 3-pin female XLR connectors used for balanced headphones that have the 2 left and right 3-pin XLRs on it. And then also in the middle of each combi jack is a 1/4-inch headphone jack, so you can use it with regular headphones as well. And then there's a Pro version that has 2 3-pin male XLRs. Then you can use this unit as a line driver to drive long runs of XLR connectors with a stereo signal. The rear panel of the unit has some terrific controls here. There's 4 switches. The first is an output impedance switch, so you can adjust the output impedance between left to right, 10, 2, and 1 ohm. This impedance matching is important. Headphones should have at least a 10-to-1 ratio of impedances, so if you have a 30 ohm headphone, you need at least a 3 ohm or less output impedance to drive those headphones with authority. So in the 1 ohm position, you could use a headphone that has as low as a 10 ohm impedance. That's handy for balanced armature driver in-ear monitors that have low impedances and are very sensitive. And of course, with a headphone that's hard to drive, and then with a headphone that has higher impedance, you can turn the impedance switch up, And with some headphones, this allows the headphone to relax a little bit and sound a little bit smoother. So, for example, with my Sennheiser HD800s, I'll usually drive it in the 10 ohm position to give them a little bit more relaxed sound. There's a gain switch, just basically makes the amplifier louder. The details of how much gain there is in the article, so you'll have to read it there. It's a little complicated because it has no analog input, so you can't compare the analog input to the output. But I did put a 0 dB FS, which is a full-scale digital signal in, turned the volume control all the way up, and measured the output voltages for each gain setting. And you can read that in the article. And then there's a bass control switch. This is a bass boost. The filter is a peaking filter. The peak of the filter is at about 80 hertz. The first position of the switch boosts at 3 dB and the second 6 dB. I would have preferred a shelving filter that went up and stayed up in the low frequency, but Michael Goodman, the CEO of CEntrance, when I asked him about it, said that he preferred this shape as the shelving filters would often sound too muddy. And it's his choice, so there you go. I did find that the 3 dB boost was nice on my Sennheiser HD800s as they sound a little bit lean, but I didn't ever find the 6 dB boost useful, as it seemed there was too much of a tonal center to the filter at around 80 hertz and made the bass sound a little one note for me. The treble boost switch I absolutely love. This raises frequencies above 10K, and with some headphones, for example my Focal Spirit Professionals, these are not a laid-back sounding headphone, but do lack a little bit of response up in the very top octave, and by boosting that 3 dB with the first setting of the treble control switch, able to bring a little more air and life into these headphones. Similarly, my old LCD2s are very warm and creamy sounding, but really don't have any response in that area. And there again, I like the 6 dB boost switch, treble switch for those headphones. The amp is a little bit big, and the battery life is a little bit short at 6 hours for maximum. But because this really is a high-end device in a portable enclosure, it's very, very difficult to do everything that this device does and still conserve power. So there's a compromise here between size and battery lifetime that has to be struck, and I think CEntrance did a good job. 6 hours is adequate, generally speaking, for most of my listening needs in the course of a day, and I can recharge it at night. Bottom line, this is an absolutely terrific amplifier. Drives anything that you throw at it very, very well. Has lots of adjustability to do some fine matching for your listening experience, something that audiophiles love. And like I say, when I go to trade shows, I just won't leave home without it. And likewise, if I'm going to be on the road and know I'm going to be doing have the opportunity to do some serious listening, I'll make sure I bring this guy along, because it's certainly a HiFi mate for my audio experiences on the road. So, love it. Highly recommended. Going on the Wall of Fame as soon as I get the Wall of Fame up for amplifiers. And I hope you get a chance to play with a CEntrance HiFi mate sometime soon and have a listen, because it's really a treat. And to have an audio Swiss Army knife like this at your disposal. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.